Welcome to Kluger's Garage. I'm Kluger. Today, pretty exciting, going to remount the doors. Got the inside painted, the bottom painted, the inside of the doors painted, steering column painted, and headlight mounts painted. Now, all I have to do is get the doors lined up, so I can go ahead and put the 300 coats of paint on it. So, I was going to get the doors lined up, take the body off, paint it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to spray around the back portions, and you ain't even going to see that stuff anyway. So without further ado, let's get to it. If you watched my how to remove a stubborn bolt video, you probably noticed the upgraded hardware. Despite how much fun the old bolts were to remove, I'm thinking this was the way to go. These doors don't have much in the way of adjustment. You pretty much have two minor adjustments, up and down and in and out. Trying to center the door front to back requires bending of the hinges. Glad I got these closed before beautifying the hinges. Gregor with that dope ass fire truck suggested mounting the cab to the frame before aligning the doors. He was saying sometimes the bodies have a little twist in them, and if they're not mounted, you'll align the doors and they'll come out wonky. Overall, not so bad. Nothing a little cutting, grinding, and welding can't fix. Then we'll pretty it up with some Bondo. And then all the way around here, which this part I knew was going to take some work, but it's not as bad as I thought. After 300 coats are applied, that gap just is not going to work. Time to pull out our friend DeWalt, fitted with the accessory of a cutting wheel. Let's go ahead weld in that portion, utilizing a wet rag to keep the heat down. You don't want that metal to warp. Let's get across the top. Definitely lower in the back. So, see if I can bring that up some, which should also do a better job aligning that gap there. So, let's get to it. To adjust the window frame, there are 4 bolts that allow slight movement. In my case, slight movement was not enough. I'll go ahead and pull these bolts out here. Oh, push it away. Hope I'll be able to get my tool up in there. My bits! See if I get the nibbler up in there. Surprised. Oh man, that would have been sweet. Nibbled right out of there, but no. Went ahead and raised this portion of the window frame up. Definitely evened out that gap there. Made it look a lot better going across the top too. Still obviously higher in the front than it is in the back, but I feel like if I work it anymore, I'm going to start running into this edge right here, and I don't really want to do that. Alright, look at the body lines. They're not perfect, but man, they're so much better. I'm pretty happy with that. Go ahead, clean it up and get some Bondo on it. The green body filler is a fiberglass filler. This stuff dries super hard, and you really need to find that sweet spot where you could sand it into that semi-wet state. As you see here, I applied the filler over the body cap. I did this hoping that I could cut a perfect body line. Needless to say, it didn't work for me. The yellow body filler spreads much smoother and is a lot easier to sand too. It's just not as strong. This step in bodywork is the most time consuming. The process continues over and over until the results are up to your standards. Although my bodywork isn't perfect, I still have hours and hours of footage. I'll spare you the rinse and repeat. The passenger door was more of the same, except as I was welding on this door, a warm sensation I felt on my right leg caught my attention. And no, I didn't have to pee. Turned my head towards the heat, flames were observed coming out of a 5-gallon bucket full of greasy rags. Thankfully I had welding gloves on, so I picked up the bucket and took it outside, swooping up the fire extinguisher as I exited. It's always a good idea to check the surrounding areas that you're performing hot work, which is cutting, welding, grinding, brazing, and remove any flammable or combustible materials. Okay, I'm done playing firefighter now. Now back to work. Throw some mud on this door, and then we'll start taping. Bam! Look at that! All taped up! Huh! Super fast. Pull it in the booth. Hell, while we're at it, slap some primer on it. I'm pretty satisfied with the way this has turned out so far. The paint job that I chose will hide a lot of imperfections. For those of you who already follow me on social media, you've probably already seen pictures of the paint job and how sick it turned out. My next video will show the progression of this wicked paint job. If you want to see more about this project or any of the other projects I'm doing, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, ring that little bell, and throw me a like. Stoke is high right now, tell you what. Until next time, get out to the shop and build something